We started the Masters over a year ago now, and start was a bit daunting going back into education after such a long period. LIT as an institute, I'm very impressed with it. I'm very good at doing what they're doing, delivering content and stuff like that. They gave us everything we needed to hit the ground running and get going, and I suppose they also kind of knew that aspect of people returning to education was there as well. What appealed to me about the course was sitting down in a classroom-based learning. We hit the ground running on the classes for the first two modules were very good, learning a lot of new stuff. A lot of it, some of it would have been overlap of stuff you knew already from industry, and then some of it was new. It's an area that I think everyone kind of wants to think they know something about it, and it's kind of like a buzzword around companies, IoT and factory of the future and digitalization and all that, and everybody is like, yeah, but they don't really know much about it. And I think this course is a good stepping stone just to break that stigma and get in and say, well, this is what it is, this is what it can do, and this is how it can be utilized. I work with Alcon, a manufacturing facility in Cork that make IOLs. It's used to replace the cataract lens, and it's injected into the eye. It's an implantable device that restores vision. So we're a fully manufacturing site there from start to finish. I'm one of the process engineers down there. So my main kind of task will be ensuring we meet our targets in yield. I would also be involved in CIP projects throughout the factory, primarily in the molding area where I work, just try and improve the process and make people's lives easier. I had solely worked on equipment validations before this. A lot of it that I'm looking at is data. You've got reams and reams of data and kind of what to do with this data, and we kind of touch on it, maybe 10% of it at the moment. But this course has helped me to understand that, you need to be looking at the data, all of the time. Visualizing the data is very important. So I've kind of touched on thinking and ideas of how I can take all this data and display it to everybody. After the Masters, I'd look into something like that for our site, just putting the data up there, getting it out to everybody. We're managing our equipment. We have a machine. Every month we're going to stop it for 10 hours and we're going to fix it and do preventive maintenance. And that's fine. There is technologies and cyber physical systems and stuff out there now that can move us slightly away from that, and we can extract data from the equipment to say, well, I'm actually okay, I'm running good. You could probably skip this one and keep moving on, and you could save time, money and energy that way if you just applied. These are simple principles really. If you just applied them, I suppose a lot of it is to get you thinking again. You're inside the classes and you're like, hey, I could apply that in my equipment engineering group. I could apply that to all the data that's on the database and present it to management. It's data, it's digitalization, and they kind of get you thinking outside the box. Once you get into it, you're like, what can I do? And there's the couple of things I mentioned would be the straightforward kind of easy ones, but then you kind of go beyond it and what could I do? And I suppose my project has kind of fed into that a small bit. I'm looking at kind of automating a scheduled process through software aids and stuff like that. And I suppose from a site-wide point of view, just get the backing from your leaders and stuff to say that we need to embrace this new data-driven approach. The 6 modules and the way it's planned out, the modules, the subjects are all applicable to anyone who's in a medical device or even probably pharma industry. They're very applicable to that. They're very applicable to the machines and equipment that we would be using in medical devices, and it's set up to kind of get you on the digitalization path. It's interesting, it's technology. If you're interested in computers, software, data-driven stuff, it is very interesting. The classroom-based approach, the content of the lectures and all that is good. A lot of it is online now as well with COVID, and it's kind of been transferred over. You hear about the fourth industrial revolution being all this 4.0 stuff. And if you're kind of like I was 16 months ago going, what exactly is that? And I'm interested in it, I definitely recommend this course. It's hard, but I suppose I'm glad I'm doing it now rather than 15 years ago, because I wouldn't have kind of applied myself as much to do it. I think it's important because we can't stand still in this industry. A lot of manufacturing technologies would be fairly dated, depending on site to site, but there is aspects within a line that are dated and old. And I think this course just emphasizes how you need to progress technology, how you need to get equipment that can process data faster, give you data, has a mind of its own, has a brain of its own, that it can tell you when it needs maintenance, tell you, you know, this and that. These are the kind of things that, you know, you kind of need to focus on within your industry and just keep moving forward to grow yourself as a person and the company.